So are we live now?
We are live.
Yo, what's up, you
We're
two?
here.
What's up, CorridorCast? We're back. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been several weeks.
We've either been filming out of town or having blue screens of death.
Yes. Now our screens are the
preventing
appropriate
us-
colors.
Yeah.
And
Now we
more
got
than
white
just one.
screens and black screens.
Yellow screens.
Our blue screens turns out is like a voltage sleep issue on the CPU.
Oh, was
Yeah,
it?
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
Weird.
Okay.
Was
I
it
don't
messed
know
up?
when that got changed.
Yeah, was it messed up from the
It's
Video
like
Village? From
it's like when your
Sode?
computer when you're not doing anything on your computer and like it clocks things down so it's not to use as much electricity.
Uh-huh.
It was doing something that was like turned off when it needed to be turned on, so the whole thing went. Bleh!
Like a power saver mode type thing?
Yeah, it's like something was in power saver that like the computer needed to use, and then the thing was like turned off.
Like whenever you need to use power, it's like, let's get rid of all the power
Yeah.
instead of giving you power.
Right.
It's like, oh, you want more power? Too
There's
bad.
none.
There's none. It's off.
No power for you.
And the computer got confused and scared.
So, there's a lot to update on.
Absolutely.
The green screen video came out.
Yeah.
Good job, both of you guys.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah, the hologram video, the Gaussian Splat video
job.
came out. Thank
Extra
you.
good job, special
Yeah.
there.
You
Thank
and
you.
Daniel did a
Yeah.
good job.
Yeah, a lot of came out. We finished filming Son of a Dungeon season 3. That's
Wild.
all. That's all
Yeah.
done.
Tabletop.
Ish. We still have to finish the.
Yeah, we haven't done the green screen
Yeah, we have
stuff.
to film the live action stuff.
Yeah.
When is that?
Probably
someday.
in about a
Next month?
or so.
Probably May.
It was originally scheduled for 2 weeks, but
There's no way that's happening.
Sam needs to get back here.
There's no way we're
Yeah.
filming in 2 weeks.
But soonish.
The second half of our April is going to be so freaking packed
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's been progress, and it's moving.
because it's so packed because we're going to NAB.
That's right.
And we're not just like visiting NAB like we've done
There's
in the
so many
past.
presentations.
We are. This is like the busiest schedule I've ever had at NAB. And on top of that, Niko's gonna go do some secret filming thing
I'm just
in,
gonna I
on
should
the
just
East
talk about
Coast.
it. I haven't signed anything yet. I should just talk about it.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm okay.
I mean,
Okay.
I'll put it this way: I might be doing a Mr. Beast thing, and Sam
Might be.
might be. I mean, we haven't gotten like full confirmation yet, so
It feels
Yeah.
pretty confirmed to me.
let's confirm when the plane ticket's bought.
Yeah. You never know. A meteor could strike North
Yeah.
Carolina.
Yeah. So I feel like gotta experience it. Gotta see what it's like.
Get the inside scoop. I
Yeah.
don't know what it's like.
It's like no matter what you think of Mr. Beast, if this is an opportunity that falls in your lap, it's not the sort of thing you just are like, nah. It's
Yeah.
okay. No, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. And I don't think I have the opportunity to like win anything either. So.
Yeah. It's a. I mean, I don't know. If
I don't know the details, so I'm gonna like leave
Yeah.
out the details.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't think I'm actually up for any prizes, so to speak.
Probably like a for charity type thing or
Yeah, of
something
course.
like that.
But
I'm sure.
in case we spoil anything we aren't supposed to, we're not going to say any more than that, I guess.
Sure.
little
Yeah.
But yeah,
tease.
so it's like we were supposed to get to Vegas on Saturday to so that we can do our NAB presentations Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. But you have to film on Sunday.
Yes.
And so you're actually coming in Monday morning. So Jordan is now going to be at NAB with us so that he can do a presentation on Sunday with me.
Whoa.
It's gonna be super cool, actually. Like,
It should be.
yeah, you and Jordan doing a presentation. We're gonna do like a live React episode. This is all at the Puget booth, by the way.
Yeah.
The Puget experience at the Puget Systems booth.
Heck yeah.
I'll be doing a run through of like CorridorKey and kind of how I put it together. Potentially with somebody from NVIDIA.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Which would be really
Okay.
cool.
They want an engineer to join for a little bit of a tech part of it before you get into
Yeah.
the building of it all.
Yeah, and I'm also going to be doing like a presentation at the Maxon booth for Cinema 4D. I guess I'm also probably going to be doing a talk at the anti-gravity booth, talking about the new drone. Just a lot of talking.
Mhm. A lot of talking, lots
talking.
of meeting people.
Yeah, a lot of saying hi to people that I will recognize their faces but have no idea what their names are. It's like, oh, I see you every year at NAB. What's your name?
6 podcasts in 1 week.
Oh my god.
3 days, yeah.
Yeah. But this is how I get nice computers.
Yeah.
This is how we do it.
Yeah, it's like a
is-
legitimate part of our
yeah.
business strategy is like, all right, we do deals like this so that we can get nice computers to continue making videos.
Yeah. I mean, we love the Puget guys too. I mean, we've been working with them for like 8 years. But like,
Yeah.
they also
They're great.
build the slickest machines.
Yes.
They really are, like legit.
So, it's nice.
We
It's
gotta
nice
earn
having
'em.
the direct line to, hardware people.
Yeah.
Does the Wren of today still experience the same pre-show anxiety as the Wren of yesterday before his TED Talk? Yeah, that never goes away.
Yeah, you just learn to be
you learn to manage it better. Like at the Streamies, not the Streamies, at the VES Awards, I talked about this a little bit because Sam was the one who was getting nervous. He was the one who literally said out loud, "Guys, I don't think I can do this. I think I'm going to pass out." And everyone backstage just slowly turns to look at him. I will never forget that moment. And we're all just like, "You're kidding me. We're going up in 30 seconds." But I totally get it because it's like in the final few seconds leading up to it is the worst. But then once you're out there, it's totally fine.
Yeah, the problem is once your adrenaline dumps, which like you don't always have like control over like your body being like adrenaline, it mixes into your bloodstream. Then you're like for at least a few minutes, regardless of if you're nervous or not. You just got adrenaline dumped. So you're like,
that's the part that never goes away. It's like you do still have to manage that, and
it's gonna
also
hit
like
you, and you just gotta be like, well, I mean, I'll be fine, but I gotta wait for this like feeling to go away.
Yeah, and like the butterflies in your stomach idea. It's like that's an actual chemical reaction happening in your stomach, and that's why people get nauseous. Is that I forget what's like actually being secreted into your stomach that's mixing and making you nauseous, but something actually is happening.
There's a real butterfly juice.
Yeah, it's butterfly juice. Yeah, that's it.
Butterfly butter.
Butterfly butter.
Butterfly butter.
I extract that.
I found that the more informal I act and relaxed I act, the better it goes.
The better it goes, yeah, for sure.
Like if I go up, like if I VS or anywhere else, if I go up, like I try to be like, present-y and read the words and do it right and do what I think everybody expects it to be like.
Yeah.
I do a bad job. If I go up and I just be myself to the extent of me being like, whatever, hi, what's up, everybody, and just do it, even if it's not as formal what people expect. I feel like it always goes over better.
I like attention. So getting up in front of a lot of people looking at me, like inside I'm like, yes, pay attention to me.
It is nice.
Give me that butterfly butter.
Butterfly butter.
Yeah. It is one way to get your adrenaline fix.
But it is also one of those things where it's like, it doesn't matter how much you like it, it is going to be a jarringly crazy experience unless you get a lot of like experience doing it.
Right.
Like having done like the NAB talks several times now and all the other types of things, it's like not that big of a deal going up on stage. Same thing, we're going to do this at Open Sauce this year. We're going to go up on a stage in front of several hundred people, probably a few times.
Well, that's why I need to finish the Open Sauce application.
Or just, you probably should.
But I do need to finish it.
Not the application, but just
what I mean.
the onboarding.
Also, I
You've
feel like
already been
onboarding.
accepted.
It's like a much more casual environment there too, because it's just like people that just like they like the creators and they go up and they're just like, I just want to see the creator like chat. Like VS is like, it's like you're in a freaking tux, You're
you're literally in front
up.
of the whole industry expert. Like all the experts of the industry are there in front of you. How many of them are the ones complaining about us on r/VFX? They're now like in person saying, "Hi, I love your work."
Yeah, and even like Ted has like the prestige to it, too. So it's like everyone's like a bit more like serious. Like you better tell me something, like analytical here, scientific. But for like Open Sauce or NAB, it's just like, it's just a bunch of geeks that like cool tech stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious if Jordan's ever experienced that type of like mob though, because it's like it's hard to describe.
Oh yeah, I don't think he
Jordan's
has.
first time.
But, like it's one thing to get recognized in public, which happens, but like
when there's a concentration
when you're in a
of them.
exactly when there's a concentration of the people who might recognize you all in one location, you get mobbed so fast. It's crazy.
He's gonna be
this will be
more powerful than he's ever been before.
Yeah, this will be fun.
If you think you get charged up on the crowd,
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
my
yeah,
God.
Jordan's gonna be a complete natural, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
he told me that what he finds really relaxing is when random people go up to him and just go bah. So I think he's gonna have a great time. And if you're there, you know how to relax. If he seems nervous, you know how to relax.
Just jump scare him, he'll be fine.
It's the only way you can go to bed. He just watches jump scare videos.
Oh my
Yeah, I
God.
forget that my TED Talk was essentially a proto VFX artist react. Like our
Really?
first few episodes, we pulled on the examples that I used in my TED Talk.
That's right. Huh.
And like the messaging there and the theme of that has kind of like set the stage for React going forward of like, it's not necessarily the artist doing a bad job. It's the circumstances and the direction that maybe makes it lower because, it might be good, but everyone's a critic at the end of the day. So if they see something, it's valid to say it's not good.
We have been getting a little more loose and wacky with our more recent reacts, which I actually really been enjoying.
The reverse.
The reverse.
Stuff is
The
walk.
reverse one, yeah.
That was day after VES vibes.
Yeah, day after VES vibes for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, CorridorCast? Christian here. Podcast engineer interruption going on here to let you know that today's episode is sponsored by Vessi. Yep, that's right. Longtime sponsors of the channels and one of our favorites. So let me get into it and tell you a little bit more about them. I'll be real. This is one of those products that makes sense for how I actually live and work. I'm all over this studio. I'm moving between setups. I'm running around on production days. And then half the time life turns into, oh, cool, I'm also out for the rest of the day, or I'm going straight to dinner. So I really like having one pair of shoes that just works for all of it. So that's why today I am introducing the newest pair of Vessis, the Vessi Weekend Neos. Check these out. Look at that colorway. Look at that. These are nice. I'm going to have to take these home because these are my size. So what I like about the Weekend Neos and all other Vessis is that they're actually waterproof. Not kind of okay in drizzle, not water resistant, like actually waterproof. So if you step in a puddle and get caught in the rain or whatever, you're not dealing with wet socks and being annoyed for the rest of the day. And that alone is huge. I was actually just in Yosemite on my anniversary trip, running around the park, chasing waterfalls and running through rivers and puddles, and my Vessis held up great. Vessis are also very lightweight, and they're just easy. Super easy to throw on, really comfortable right out of the box, and no weird break-in period. That's a big one for me because if a shoe takes 2 weeks before it stops fighting you, I'm probably not wearing that shoe very often or for very long. These are very much a slip-on and go type of shoe. The other nice thing is that they don't feel like a special purpose shoe. They look just clean enough that you can wear them normally, but they can handle bad weather, long walking days, travel, everything. Any situation you can throw at it, they're a great shoe. So it really does feel like that one pair wherever you're headed or whatever you're doing kind of thing. So you've heard us talk about Vessi on Corridor Crew for years. You've seen us wear them. And you've heard us talk about it on this podcast. So if you want to check them out, go to vessi.com/CorridorCast and get 15% off your first pair. You also get free shipping, a 1-year warranty, and a 30-day hassle-free return. If you're watching the video version of this and not just listening to this podcast, just scan that QR code right there in the banner. That'll help you get there too. So yeah, thanks for listening to me. And that's my shoe break. So let's get back to the podcast.
I haven't been on a podcast since doing the Today Show appearance.
Yeah,
and you were on that
you
podcast.
were literally
because we were watching you.
That was
on
really
the
fun
podcast.
watching you guys live react to me, actually. It helped me get a sense of like how I did.
you did great.
You got great. Yeah, you did. You did a
Thanks.
fantastic job.
I think I mentioned it. It was like the only note I have was that like I think you mentioned the length of an AI video being like if it's longer than 10 or 15 seconds, and I'm like that's going to be the first notch to fall down. Like that'll be solved more than before the other things are.
I mean, it's still good to like depending on how high effort the AI scam is, it's still like that'll still be a thing for a lot of like the low effort ones. It'll just move to more like lower and lower effort scams, but it's like it'll still be good to know.
It's
all good.
I don't know if you guys can see this at all sitting here next to me.
It's in the shop for sure.
Spoilers for a video coming out this weekend. This is a nice little sweatshirt that does not look at all like the pictures said it would look like.
That's genuine
Just saying.
wool right there.
Genuine
That's
wool.
Irish wool
Irish wool.
with a Celtic knot, a beautiful Celtic sort of stitching pattern on
Pulled
there.
the wool
If that
over
gives
your
you an
eyes.
idea of what this weekend's video is going to be.
It's really funny. Those are some really, really good scams.
Sam coming out of the bathroom wearing the
cracking up.
freaking Hulk sweatshirt.
And
I've
just
never seen
dying
him
laughing.
buffer.
Can't wait to see this video.
It's a good
Yeah.
one.
That was some of the most fun I've ever had filming a debunking episode. Not gonna lie, that was crazy.
And you're just like dying the entire time.
Yeah. But you know, the Today Show clip has, I think, 3 million views now.
That's
Is
crazy.
It has
that
more
three?
views than like any other video clip on their YouTube channel in like the past 6 months.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
easy.
It was funny because like in the days following, because we saw, it was like, oh wow, that video blew up. So we started checking their channel. They upload so much.
Oh yeah,
They
it's
like
just,
to get to it,
a
there's
couple
so many
dozen
scrolls.
videos a
A
day.
day, yeah.
Yeah,
And so it's like, and you're scrolling through, you're like, a few hundred views, oh, 1,000 views, a few hundred views, couple hundred views, oh, a few thousand views, okay, a few hundred views, couple hundred views, 3 million views, 200 views. Wait, what?
yeah. Look at that algorithm. The algorithm doing its job.
Because who was on the Today Show the same day that you were on?
Seth MacFarlane was.
Really?
Yep.
It was the
He
same
blew him
day.
out of the water.
Yes, I did. He had like only like 18,000 views.
But the other side of that is that like it's also broadcast TV. You know how they talk about ratings?
Yeah.
Like what are ratings? I don't actually understand how they I don't know how they know whether or not someone tuned into a broadcast show.
They actually do a survey.
But okay, so they actually ask people directly, and then they just kind of use estimation to extrapolate.
That job's got to be a bummer.
Yeah, I was gonna say they don't.
Imagine like you've been in that like this. You've been a survey guy for like 40 years. And like nowadays, it's just like, did you watch that? And they're like, no. Okay.
Okay.
Walk to the other side of the mall that you're walking around or something. Did you watch it?
They do a survey. That's
Don't
really
talk
how
to
it's
me.
Back,
done.
like back in the 80s, that dude was asking people, and they're just like, of course I watched that. And he's like, yeah, and you watched it, and you watched it, and you watched it. He's just having a great time. Everyone's like, oh, and this would be this. Like, I want this to be in the next episode. Like, great, we got direct feedback. Now it's a ghost town.
But yeah,
Those poor broadcast
so
surveyors.
they were
Yeah.
not prepared for that to pop off like that. I
for
imagine
sure.
they always
I think
hope,
it's a
but
fun-
like,
yeah, I think it's a fun surprise for them.
yeah, I find that interesting because it's a completely different audience from our audience. I imagine.
I mean,
I'm
yeah.
assuming.
It is. I mean, you read the comments. It is. You know,
Well, it's like you did the AI, like how to teach your moms how to spot AI, but that is a YouTube video that a lot of moms aren't going to know how to get to.
Yeah,
you know? And
a
so
lot of
the Today
moms aren't
Show,
already in our algorithm.
Yeah, the Today Show, it's in that algorithm, in that mom algorithm.
Well, we
So
are
it's
talking
like
about
that
the
natty
YouTube.
algorithm.
But we are talking about the YouTube re-upload. I wonder how many people actually watched it on TV. You know?
Yeah. See, that's what I'm wondering. Is like
Because 3 million views is on the YouTube video.
so I mean, people caught it. Like, there's a post in the
Dean setting up debunk.
Nah.
corridor subreddit where like people were saying, you know, like, oh, I walked by my parents' like room and I heard Niko's voice. I was like, what? And, you know,
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
some people caught it, which was really cool. Yeah.
My family was stoked. Like my mom's face
Yeah.
was on TV.
Yeah, they did cut to all your moms.
Yeah. Oh, I told you guys this. I guess people haven't heard the podcast yet, but I slept through my alarm.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Start the story. Start the story.
I had no idea.
So the night before, you're hanging out with Mike Diva
Yep.
from
No
SNL.
idea.
Yep.
And you flew in first class, so you're like extra like
They
snoozy
flew
and
me in
comfy
first
and
class, my
sleepy.
first ever
And you had an
first
extra
class
day,
flight.
so you fly in, and then you have a whole day just to like
relax, and
Relax,
get acclimated.
acclimate, yeah.
Yeah. Mike and I were working on our horse band music.
which I don't know if you've told anyone about that yet.
I don't think I have that. We have a band that's every song's inspired by horse sayings.
Yeah, it's anyway. So the Today Show starts super early in the morning. It's like one of those early morning shows, and you got to get there ahead of time. So you have like a early o'clock call.
And I'm
time.
a West Coast guy, and this is on the East Coast.
Yeah,
So it's 3
so
hours
it's
ahead from
even
there. So
earlier.
they have a car picking me up at 7 a.m.
Which is
which I need
4
of course,
a.m. this time.
Yeah, which I need to be up even earlier, right? So, anyways, I go to bed at a decent time. Actually, I'm responsible. I set my alarm on my phone. I put it right next to my head. I make sure the ringer's off or on. I mean,
Honestly, that's how it happened.
Yeah, that's the
and,
problem.
Put my eye mask on. I go to sleep. And at 7:40 a.m.,
Oh.
Mike wakes me up. He goes,
Dude.
Niko, don't you have to be on the Today Show right now? And I bolt up. And like, thank goodness I'd like taken a shower and put my clothes on literally the night before. My hair's like combed. And
Put
like
your clothes on the night before.
Yeah,
He's sleeping in a
truly
suit.
like I put my hair into like a loose like ponytail, so I didn't have to even like comb it, and like I just slept in a state where I could just get up and go. So thank God I did, because I literally like jump up, I look at my phone, the alarm's going off, and it's not making any sound.
Oh,
And it's been going off, and I look, there's like 4 missed texts and 2 missed calls, and I'm just like, oh no, and you just feel that like your stomach drop.
just that sinking feeling of I have just messed up
Jesus.
so
Yeah,
hard.
it's like I'm supposed to be on the Today Show. I don't even know when I'm supposed to go live, but it's like it's 7:40 and I was supposed to be in the car 40 minutes ago. And we're like, and I jump up and grab my stuff. Bye, Mike, because I needed to bring all my luggage with me.
because they're
'Cause you're going straight to the airport
Straight to the
afterwards.
airport
Yeah.
afterwards. Run down, the car is still there. Thankfully, I call the producer. I'm like, I'm so sorry. And they're like, no, it's okay, it's okay. Like, just get here when you get here. Like, we might just not be able to do any prep. It'll be right to the show. I'm like, okay. I think I'll be there at 8:10. And it's like, so I'm like, okay, I think I might still be able to make it. And like 30 seconds later, he calls me back. And he goes, hey, actually, Pete Hegseth from the Pentagon's doing a surprise briefing, so we had to bump the whole schedule by an hour, and you're not going to be on until 9 o'clock. So don't worry about it. We'll have plenty of time.
Oh,
Freaking
Oh my
Secretary
gosh.
of War,
Yeah.
saving your butt.
Seriously.
wow.
So I got very lucky with not having that time crunch be a problem. But man, what a nightmare. It's like the thing that you always dream about, like sleeping through your alarm clock during like a really important thing like that. And it happened. And yeah, it
and
was
then it's
Apple.
like it could have only been worse if you got to the Today Show and you're in your underwear.
Yes.
Full nightmare.
Seriously, like that's almost, it's the same exact feeling. Just as bad, honestly. And
and who was the guy that was there who told you good job? I forget his name.
Carson Daly gave me a shout out.
Daly.
Wow, Carson
From
Daly.
MTV. What was the show? It was
TRL.
TRL.
Yeah.
Dude, friggin' TRL. I was trying to think of that the other day, and I could not for the life of me think of it.
That's
yeah,
old
TRL
school.
was like a staple of MTV like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And you interned at TRL, didn't you?
At MTV.
At MTV.
Yeah.
So I guess same building.
So I was an intern with the MTV.com department, and they had just bought the first HD DV camera, the Sony FX1.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And my buddy Eric Lim had just bought one like 6 months before for all the cool martial arts videos we were shooting. And so I was the only person on the floor at MTV.com, which is in the big Viacom building on Times Square, who had ever used that camera before. So I immediately went from like, hey, transcribe this video intern to like, all right, you're on the shoots with us now, helping us shoot them because you know how to use this camera. So I got to meet a bunch of like celebrities. I got to go down to the TRL place because like, you know, it's MTV.com. So they grabbed the people before or after they went on
Sure.
TRL. Like this whole like wall full of like, they have a film booth there, like a photo booth. And so everybody that went through TRL would do a photo booth strip. And so there's all these different people that
That's
were
cool.
in those
That's
pictures.
pretty sick.
Yep. I saw the Sum 41 lead singer just like picking his nose, waiting to go on and sing.
What?
The Maroon 5. What's that? Maroon 5? What's the guy's name?
Adam Levine.
Adam Levine.
Adam Levine.
He was there. I thought he actually like was working there, so I was kind of like standing next to him like, "What's up?" He's like, "What's up?" I thought he was like another MTV like grip or gaffer, and then he goes out and starts singing.
And you're like, oh.
Yep. Yeah. T.I. was really chill.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah. Gym Class Heroes were cool. Common was cool.
Oh, lots of music.
Dang,
Yeah.
dude.
What's MTV?
It's MTV.
Music
Yeah,
television.
I guess in those days it was.
They had like a
Yeah,
Second
that
Life
was back
clone.
before they were.
I don't know if you guys
music
remember
focused.
There, but there's another like thing like Second Life called There, and MTV had their own spin-off of that, and they would MTV.com was responsible for pulling in like celebrities to do a in-game world meetup. You know, long before it was like a Fortnite thing.
Oh, wow.
And so I
The
get to
metaverse.
film those. Yep. And then they had the video games room off to the side for the video game division of MTV.com. And MTV at the time, I think, owned or Viacom owned the Guitar Hero franchise.
Oh, really?
And so I got to play an early release of the Guitar Hero 80s before it came out. 'Cause they
Oh,
had a review
wow.
copy. And it was the gaming team from MTV.com that hooked me up with a beta code to Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Oh, the best
when
one.
the beta was
The
out.
best one.
Which, by the way, this is like early days. Betas are a thing that you don't get into. So I got to play the beta of that. And I was just like, this is the best game in the world.
Yeah.
Nobody knows yet, but this is the sickest
This is
game
gonna
I've
change
ever played.
everything.
Dude,
Yeah.
I remember getting the beta for Halo 3.
Oh, yeah.
And the only way to get it was by buying the video game called Crackdown.
That's right. Crackdown was actually pretty sick.
It was
though.
actually ended up being an amazing game, so it was cool. But like you got to be part of like I don't know, they called it something other than the beta, but it was like a 2-week span where you can like play Halo 3 online. I lived in Vietnam at the time, which had terrible internet, so I didn't really get to play, but it was cool. Anyway, so you had the beta to Call of Duty 4, which then inspired you to make the actual short film just a few years later.
Yeah.
How many years later?
Exactly. Yeah. Just
Imagine
years
how much
later.
more delayed that video would have been if you weren't on the beta.
It's
a
funny 'cause,
couple months
like,
later.
I was so psyched for Halo 3 because Halo 2 is like my jam. And
Yeah.
Halo 1 was my jam, you know. So the beta for Call of Duty 4 dropped like a month before Halo 3 came out, and totally ruined Halo 3 for me.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But the the morning we downloaded the beta, it was me and Sam was living with me, and our other roommate was a guy named Ian. And you know, before we played video games together all the time. We played Halo 2 together all the time. And before we all head off to do our classes, I fire up the beta and we all played like a little bit. And this is like Friday actually. And Sam's like, yeah, whatever. It's whatever. It's fine, I guess. And Ian's like, yeah, it's all right. And they leave, and Ian went home for the weekend, and Sam I think went home for the weekend too. And I played it more that night. And it's like, this is pretty good. And I played it the next day all day. I played it the next day all day. And when they got back Sunday, I was like, guys, you know that game that we played that you guys were like, It's like, you need to play the game. I think you guys really need to play this game a few more times. You need to play this game one more time. And they're like, okay. And of course, they get hooked by Call of Duty like every other guy did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, dude. Yeah, it's funny because Halo 3 came out right as I started my freshman year of college. And so I was on a dorm floor with a bunch of other like 18, 19-year-old dudes as Halo 3 drops, and
Prime
the
Halo.
whole dorm is networked. So everyone with Xboxes, you just plug your Xbox into the wall.
Yeah.
We had 16-player Halo games every single day.
Oh, yeah. Same in my dorm.
Yeah,
It was
and
amazing.
It was like that was the most. That's why Halo 3 is the most magical Halo to me, just because of that experience of like, because Halo 2 I think was a better game, maybe in my opinion, but whatever.
Halo 2 came out month and a half or 2 months into my first year at college. So I had Halo 1 for 2 months in the dorm on the network, which was amazing, of course. Halo 1 is a great networked game. Then Halo 2 came out, and that was like, same thing. Everybody for the next 2 years, just in the dorm was that
and
game.
then Xbox Live came out.
Yeah,
so
then
that
Xbox
was-
Live, of course, too.
Then you're playing online. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, for all of our Gen Z viewers, we're talking about the old days.
Formative video game memories.
So I brought all that up because Carson
sure.
Daly was there at the Today Show while you were giving this talk.
Yeah, so, going on the Today Show, so you were backstage. It's a lot like the VES. They got the stage manager. You're prepped. You're ready to go on. And then, this is a live show, and they have this kind of this cadence of a back and forth. Like, it's very orchestrated. And there are so many lights on that ceiling. Like, so many lights.
The grid is
it's crazy. But, so, like, they're doing a segment. They pause. They go to a pre-recorded thing. I go out. I get set up in a seat that's kind of like, it's actually not a very big room, the whole, like, filming area. It's like they have the news anchor desk with a video wall next to it. They have seats in front of another, like, strip of TVs. And then, like, a couch and, like, some planters. And it's those three settings. It's like kind of four. The video wall is kind of like a fourth one.
Okay.
But it's those four things that they have all set up. And it's, like, not a room much bigger than this. Maybe, like, knock out that wall and go to the end of the...
Taller though, right?
Yeah, a little bit taller, but not that much taller either.
Really? This is a short room.
So I go sit down, and then they come back from the pre-recorded segment, and then it goes to Carson Daly, who's at the video wall. He does his pop news stuff, and that's kind of his role as, like, the host, is to do, like, all the pop culture news. He does his thing. That finishes. Then it goes to a pre-recorded segment that starts for my segment. And that's when the hosts come over, and they go, hey, what's up? Nice to meet you. How's it going? I think Hodo is the name of one of the anchors. She gives me a hug. The guy, gives me, like, a fist bump. Like, they're really nice and clearly, like at the top of the game, right? Mm-hmm. They're hosts who immediately know how to, like, disarm you, make you feel comfortable, get you warmed up, make it feel like they're there to, like, support you.
Yeah.
And, like, so when the segment starts, like, oh, you guys are so nice. What's up, everybody? And, like, you're just, like, in a really good mood. And then, we flow into the segment, and I, like, do my thing, as you guys have seen, of course. And I was really happy I didn't stumble over any words.
Yeah. No, it was good.
And then I had that little Adam's apple, like, trivia bit at the end, which, like, I could feel it land in the room, which was really nice.
Didn't you say, like, you saw one of the camera guys go, oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. When I saw the crew go, like, oh. It's like, okay, cool. I got everybody with that one. And then that wraps up, and both the hosts were like, that's really cool. Thanks so much. And then they move on to sit on the couch with Carson for the next segment as another pre-recorded thing plays. And as I'm walking, Carson's like, Niko, you killed it. I'm like, thanks. Thanks, Carson. And that was that. So they were all super nice and made me feel really special.
And there's no way Carson Daly remembers you.
No, of course not. Of course not.
Now he does.
Now he does.
Maybe he's been watching visual effects artists react since day one. Who knows?
Never know. Never know.
Yeah, he was just too shy to, like, come up to you. But he was, like, fangirling the whole time.
Yeah, it's like, turns out I'm actually on, like, a first name basis with him. Yeah.
So do you think you're going to go back?
I would love to go back.
A tomorrow show?
Especially if they fly me first
Tomorrow
class
show.
again.
Yeah.
Tomorrow show this evening. I would think going back would be great. There's something, like, really surreal about doing the first class flight thing to New York and back in, like, a span of a day, because the flight itself and the trip to the airport become, like, vacation as opposed to, like, work.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've never done it before, and I got a family, I got a lot of stuff going on. So when you get on an airplane, there's a certain zen quality to it.
Yeah, you're stuck.
You got the white
Yeah.
noise of the cabin,
Mhm.
It
makes me all sleepy.
pumping in that that calming air.
But it's like long enough that you can like then get at, like, do you want to read a book? Do you want to watch a
Yeah.
movie? Like
As opposed to a short flight where it's like, I guess I can get my Switch out and play like for a bit, or I can just sit here and zone out.
Yeah,
and then the flight will be over. It's like
Yep.
on like a 5 hour. I don't know how long is it? 5 hours?
about
6
5 hours.
hours,
Yeah.
It's like
6 hours.
It's like, okay, no, unless I sleep the whole time, I have to actually like fill this time with something.
Yeah, and you don't have that anxiety of like, oh, I need to be doing something because like you're on an airplane. You know? What else are you gonna do?
Yeah,
You don't gotta be
It's
productive.
freeing
You
in
just-
a way.
Yeah.
So the first class experience is like you get all that, except you're wrapped in a box where you can lie down and you have a blanket and a pillow, and they bring you cookies and food, and you have a nice
rub
big
your
TV
tummy.
and full your headphones, and you're just all wrapped up, and you sit in that box, and no one bothers you for 5 hours. And you get to do whatever you want and sleep. And it's really nice.
You're not fighting for like arm rest space.
Yeah.
You know? You're not.
Well, they hit us up. They want us to come back. They want you to come back.
Yep.
I'm hoping they are down to bring 2 people on the show this time.
Start outnumbering the hosts.
Yep. Yep. So we'll see what happens, but that'd be great. And then I get to
like-
go work on more horse songs.
I
with Mike.
still have never been to New York City.
You've
Ever?
never been to New York
I keep
City?
asking to
keep
go on
saying
these
that.
trips
Are
to New
you
York, and I'm
kidding
always
me?
bumped off the list every time for
Well,
the last
like,
8
we
years.
haven't been going to New York a lot. Yeah.
I know,
Yeah,
but
how
like
many
there was
times?
there was a time about like 6-7 years ago when like we did like 3 or 4 New York trips.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I was never on one of them.
Dang. Dude,
And,
New York's
or
kind of a
like you're
special
going to go do the YouTube creator
yeah.
meetup stuff. And I'm like, I wanted to go to
Yeah,
New
I
York.
guess I went twice with B&H and Jake and Nick.
Yeah, you guys
Look,
did the helicopter
I'm
tours.
sure if there's another creator summit, you're going to be the one that gets invited to the next one. So,
With how good the Gaussian Splat video did, you'll be splatting in New York in no time.
yeah. New York's
I would
a
love to
pretty
go with
special
Jenna.
spot.
Like
It's a pretty
we've
unique
talked about
city.
going to New York and visiting. At some point, we'll do that. But
Are there any
Well, that's someday.
specific things you would want to do in New York? Like, do you want to go to the Statue of Liberty, do all the classic stuff?
I don't know.
You got a plan?
I've not
Vibe.
really given it any thought.
Yeah. Well, maybe
It's-
that's why you got bumped off. You didn't want it. You didn't want it hard enough.
Yeah. Just didn't want it enough.
I got to see the Statue of Liberty. I'll kill to see the Statue of Liberty. Okay, you can go.
I mean, I want to see Times Square. I want to see Central Park. I want to walk around the city. I want to do like a really long walk around the whole city. I want to do like a 10-mile hike. I think that'd be sick.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know.
Certainly
I want to go to some good restaurants. Jenna wants to recreate Kevin McAllister's journey from Home Alone 2. I don't know if I want to recreate all of that. He meets someone who tells him where to go, and I'd prefer not to meet that person. But you know, I digress. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I hear New York's great.
Yeah. I mean, you can also just go too. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
Which is why
Doesn't
I'm
have
like,
to be for work.
It's not like anyone's fault. I just haven't gotten around to doing it.
because it is like you're prepping to be in like such a stimulating like vacation. It's like some people are like, oh, it's like, you know, work's been tough, I want to go to the beach for a couple days or
Yeah.
something like that. But it's like going to New York, you're like, I'm gonna have to be in the middle of so much stuff for so long, and it's like
I can
very-
see
it
it
can
being
be
one of
very
those
exhausting.
trips where you get back and you're like, I still have to have a bit of a vacation
yeah,
because that wasn't like a relaxing trip. It's fun, but you gotta like unwind a little bit. The vacation from the vacation.
Yeah.
Just depends on what you got planned.
Yeah, very true. Christian, you went to New York recently.
Yeah, I just went for my engagement little celebration. Just hopped around, had some good food. Did the same thing. Like hit the park.
What'd you guys do during the day? Like, did you just like visit any museums? Oh, I'd like to go to some museums.
yeah,
Cool.
natural
Yeah.
history.
Yeah.
Speaking of New York, Christian, didn't you guys ride on a helicopter that the next day crashed?
Yeah.
What?
That was
Yeah.
that was the trip.
There's a big helicopter crash years ago, and it was like a tour that crashed into the bay or
Yeah.
whatever. And the day before is the day that, I mean, Christian, you tell us.
Yeah, basically, Jake, me, and Nick were out. B&H was doing this like video game tournament thing or whatever. So they flew us out there and like, we want to make sure you guys have a good time. Would you guys be interested in doing a doors off helicopter ride? And we were like, sure, let's do it for the vlog. That was during the Sam Niko every other day stuff. So
No, were the doors off on purpose,
yeah.
or is it just a bad helicopter that was
so
doomed
it
to
was
fall?
it was an awesome experience. We did it. It was all fine. And then in the news the next morning, not the same tour company, but basically all the helicopters take off from the same spot. 5 people ended up crashing in the Hudson and drowning or whatever, and like the next day. So we was very much like, wow, that definitely could have been our helicopter the day before. It was pretty wild.
I was
I've never been
literally-
on a helicopter since.
I was literally just talking to Danielle about this because we were this last weekend we were just in Oregon for her birthday because she's from there, and as we were driving through Oregon, we passed by. We're on the coast. We passed by one of those weird like adventure like building things where it's like a bunch of like high up little obstacle course things that you have to go on. Like you're on like a little bungee cable. And
like a team building experience.
Yeah,
type
like a little
thing.
suspension bridge and like little cables. And then right
you have to
next
climb
to
up the tree.
that,
You got to stand on a pole and then jump to the next pole.
Exactly.
But you're harnessed in.
right next to that was a helicopter for helicopter tours.
Oh.
And I was like, we should definitely do a helicopter tour. She's like, absolutely not. Like, there's no way. Those are like so dangerous. It's like because like all of the media like exposure we have to helicopters. In every movie, if there's a helicopter, it's going to explode and crash. You know, so it's like you only ever get to see helicopters in their worst light.
Yeah.
And then there's also like so many people have died in helicopters. They just freaking fall, I guess, sometimes.
But as usual, a lot more people survive helicopters than die.
I mean, I guess those people in the Hudson didn't. So yeah, that's interesting. So I'm probably not going to be going on a helicopter anytime soon.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it was an eye opener.
I'll keep because it's also one of the things where it's like completely voluntary. You don't need to do that. You know.
Christian, did they give you lessons on how to like cut your
Yeah,
seatbelts?
no, they definitely. They kind of just mentioned like there's a blade right here, like that's kind of clipped to your seatbelt. If you need it, this is how you slice it. Like, it's definitely there. Like, it's part of the safety briefing. It's not like a full in-depth class or nothing, but it's part of the safety briefing.
Huh.
So yeah, they like there's a blade clip there that you're supposed to be able to slice the seatbelt with, if that were to happen.
And then you try to jump out, and then the helicopter dips a little bit, and then you just go right into the freaking blades.
Or you jump out and the helicopter gets better.
Yeah, when Carmichael and I went to Dubai at the very beginning of the vlog days, this is literally 10 years ago this month, which is crazy to think about. It's all in the vlogs. We did a helicopter tour there as well, and Carmichael is definitely afraid of heights, so that became a big story point across those videos.
And he still went in it?
Yeah, he did it.
'Cause I know-
he wanted the window.
Because I know you guys did the Burj Khalifa. And
Yeah.
he was
And that
freaked out
was
there.
that was where it all kind of peaked, and we're like, oh, actually, this
he's
is
actually-
not cool what
he's
we're doing.
actually freaked out.
Genuinely traumatizing him.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, now I feel like a
I feel
bad person.
terrible.
Oops, sorry, Carmichael. We're all like, haha, go up against the window, and he's like against the window, and he starts like crying, and we're like, oh, this is okay. Get off that window. Come over here. This is okay. You're freaking out.
You
This is not
vlogged
good.
too close to the sun.
Yeah,
Exposure therapy.
because we were up on like the 145th floor or something
Yeah.
like that. It's like, yeah,
That
it's
is-
crazy. It was a really cool trip to Dubai.
Pretty high.
Anyway, so tell us about the green screen
Oh, right.
fallout.
Fallout.
The fallout.
The fall. That wasn't
The
a fall.
backlash.
Backlash.
The controversy.
Dude, the green screen success, the green screen victory.
So, okay,
Yeah.
leading up, this is the right platform for this because this is where I vocally complained about, what do you mean you're not going to make a GUI for this? You got to make this usable for artists, Niko. You're just making some coded thing and people are going to have to figure it out. Well, guess what? To me, that's exactly what they did, and they made it so much better.
And they did that
yeah.
immediately,
Like,
too.
Yeah.
within a day
immediately
or
before
two.
the YouTube video was even out.
Yeah.
Yeah. The open
Because-
source like community that's like sprung up around CorridorKey is crazy, and like the rate at which things are being made is crazy. Because I've been trying to think about this here. Like, no one else has done neural green screening, and it's not that it's that hard to do. Just no one else has done it yet. So I was like, I'm just gonna do it, and kicked things off with CorridorKey here. It actually ended up working pretty dang well. It's solving our purposes for Son of a Dungeon, which is crazy. And then it's like, okay, that's great, but it just works for us, right? Like, what if somebody else wants to use this? And what if they don't want to have to like fire up Python to do it, you know?
And also, we've got our Puget that we can just
Yeah.
remote into that has like a
Yeah, what if they don't have like a 15
something
grand
in-
computer? Yeah. So within a few days, people took the code and the model, and somebody made an easy like double-click installer. It runs on machines with only 6 gigabytes of VRAM. It runs on pretty much any modern Macintosh because Apple did this whole unified memory thing with their computers. That's been like paying dividends for them ever since. Because basically their system's RAM is VRAM.
Right.
Which is crazy. So it's actually Macs are great for neural network stuff.
Well, also, first off, we had a bit of a brand issue because it was the end of the month that the video was trying to come out, and we ended up having to push the YouTube video an entire week.
Right.
But it still came out on CorridorDigital.com.
A week early.
A week early. Normally it's just a day early. This time it was a week early. So that meant that the video was technically out there. People were seeing it, and so people were screen capping it, uploading it to Twitter, uploading it to LinkedIn.
We had our Modern Warfare beta testers.
And so like
for us.
hype was starting to build around this, and people were starting to be like, wait a minute, what's going on with this? And at some point in that week, you actually uploaded all of it to GitHub, and so that's when people started coming out and actually started working with it before the huge rush of attention hit it.
Yeah.
So then the Sunday hits, and the video actually goes live. But tell me about like what you had uploaded versus what you got helped with between
That 1 week, yeah.
Oh yeah,
that time.
You know what I uploaded was basically a vibe coded project, which once again it works and it works fine, but it works on us using a very expensive computer with a very specific workflow. So it's not at all friendly to anybody else. And the code that I wrote isn't like a program that's been built for anybody else to work on. It's just a program that I built with Google Gemini. And so within that first week, these people come out of the woodwork and they're like, oh, nice GitHub project that you're launching here. Let me show you. You need to redo this stuff. You need to build some tests over here, they're called. You need to change this stuff to have a formatting procedure. And once you do a couple of these things, other people will be able to come in and help you out. And the way you're going to want to have everybody install it is with this thing here. Anyways, I spent the past couple hours doing it for you. It's all submitted. Merge that and you'll be good. And I have to log off here. I probably won't be back for at least a week or two. See you later. It's like, wow, who are these people? And like these
Mysterious
gnomes like came out of the woodwork and like took this vibe code and like turned it into like a real GitHub project that like people could collaborate with within a day. And then they disappeared, and I've never seen them since.
Back into the little holes in the walls, little mounds in the trees.
And once like they had prepared this like body for being like, it's like, you know, it's like mummifying an Egyptian pharaoh. They've mummified this pharaoh's body, and now it's on the boat to the afterlife. At which point it then launches, and then everybody else jumps into it and starts working on it. And yeah, like it was crazy because within a day people had it optimized. They had fixed some bugs in this. Somebody got it running in real time, which is crazy.
You mean like Zoom meeting?
Dude, I remember how proud you were when you were like, I managed to knock 8 gigabytes off the required, or maybe it was 6, off the required VRAM by like, there's some line of code that was just constantly writing ones or something like that. And you're like, I just made it stop writing that because it was unnecessary. And that freed up gigabytes worth of VRAM. You're like, hell yeah. And then like a day later, it's live and people are like, yeah, we got to work on 6 gigs now.
It's just so quick. Yeah.
But it's like more than that. It became plugins for After Effects, for DaVinci Resolve.
Yes, but
okay, getting ahead of myself.
We're not at the release yet.
Well, so it comes out, you know, people start working on it. They improve my version, which is, you know, a command line interface kind of thing. But another person named Ed put together this thing called EZ CorridorKey, which you can look it up on GitHub. EZ CorridorKey, the 2 letters.
EZ CorridorKey.
And you can download it. It's a double-click install. It runs on Mac. It runs on Linux. It runs on Windows. And then it has its own like fully set up interface to run CorridorKey, and it's really cool. And you can do like parallel processing. It works great. But at the end of the day, what we really want is a plugin, right? You want something that you can pull up in Resolve or After Effects or Premiere. Just pipe your green screen footage, pipe it in Alpha Hint, and you're good. Walk away, right? It's supposed to be like a one-click solution to green screening. So people started working on that. A company named Baskel.ai put out a plugin that kind of runs like a back-end renderer, and then you can interface with that with a plugin with After Effects or Premiere or Resolve. And they were the first ones to put out a plugin, but it's not super reliable at running on your GPU, and it's not, at least it wasn't super optimized. And so in theory, it was super cool, but if you're running something like CorridorKey on your CPU, it's unusable.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. You have to be like using modern GPU accelerated math workflows.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was going to say specifically like NVIDIA GPUs, but if you're saying it works on Mac, that wouldn't be the case.
Mm-hmm. And there's ways to do that, but then you get into this more complicated thing where you can't just build like a back-end system that just interfaces with it. You need to actually like build like a runtime, it's called. Like you need to take this Python project, convert it into like native code for the system you're going to use, convert the models to a specific format, rewrite the programs. It's this whole thing of like taking your loose code and turning it into like an actual runnable program. Kind of like what happens like if you make a video game, right? Like you might be working on Unreal Engine, you have all your code, you have your blueprints, you have your assets. But when you run a game, you're running like a .exe.
Yeah.
You're not firing up an Unreal Engine project folder, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what it takes to like really make these tools good. And in the past week, somebody's been working on a DaVinci Resolve one. And yesterday, we finally got it running at full quality, and it's rendering at 1 frame per second.
That's amazing.
It's a doubleclick.exe install native plugin for DaVinci Resolve. So that's open source, baby.
Wait, it's a native plugin?
Yeah.
Well, like what exactly is a native
So
plugin?
it's not like running a backend. It's not like firing up a Python.
The Baskel one, if you like click on the effect, it opens up like another little window that like initializes.
I follow.
It's
I follow.
because they have a bunch of other plugins that you
guess-
can also like enable. That would then be like accessible in Resolve. So this is just doesn't open up another window. It's just
in
working in.
Resolve.
I guess
in
what
Resolve.
I consider native is just like you install Resolve and it's there.
Oh, no, sorry. That's not what I
Like
meant.
it comes
Yeah,
with
not-
the
yeah.
program.
Yeah.
We got to talk to John Leonardo.
It's still a plugin
da
you got to
Vinci
install
to
at the
get
end of the
that.
day.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
copy that.
Still is
Yeah.
a plugin you have to install. Not packaged with that Resolve yet.
Yeah,
But
if
maybe.
you double click it,
Maybe one day.
like close your Resolve, double click the download, and then open up Resolve again, and it'll be in there.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to do
So,
that.
as easy
that
as
sounds
that.
really easy.
Yeah, it's like may not come, with the package, but it is as easy as just closing, double clicking, and reopening.
And that double clicking or that one click process also does the alpha hint. It does all of that.
No, that's left up to the user because once
Okay.
again, CorridorKey doesn't actually do the alpha hint. And there's some
Right.
confusion around that because like the program I dropped had other tools to make the alpha hint, which people kind of consider that all the CorridorKey. It's like at the end of the day, CorridorKey just takes your green screen footage and a alpha hint that you've made somehow using some other tool. And there's a million tools out there that are good at making alpha hints.
Right.
So in this case in Resolve, you could fire up a quick delta key or chroma key, or you could do Magic Mask. Magic Mask is a node.
Yeah.
And Magic Mask is another AI node inside of DaVinci Resolve. There's a couple different AI nodes they have. And now CorridorKey runs exactly like Magic Mask does, or AI noise reduction does.
Yeah.
Or it's just a native node.
Dang.
Well, native. It's a, what would you call it when it's like true to the program?
Just an internal plugin. I don't know. It's like a
Just
plugin.
it's there.
It's there. It doesn't require
It's
other
there.
things.
It's there now.
Yeah. So head on over to the Corridor Creates Discord because not a lot of people know about this yet. It's still very experimental. We didn't get it working until yesterday.
How do they go to the Corridor Creates Discord?
Good luck.
And
I think
Oh, go do this thing. I don't
No,
actually know
I
how to
think
do
almost-
it, but go get it.
In almost all of our previous podcasts and episodes, there's a link in there.
Yeah.
I have an open-ended invite link to it. So.
Hell yeah.
That's true.
Okay.
And you can also just Google.
That's the answer I was looking
Yeah,
for.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
It's
you can
linked-
Google
it's linked in-
Corridor Key and then go to the GitHub page, and it's on the README.
Yeah, I
there.
pretty much made it in the default of all of our video uploads now. So.
Or you can type a bunch of random letters in the URL bar and hope that you guess it.
Oh my god.
Corridor Creates, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
So.
And the resolution does have a big impact on results. So I trained a model to do 2048 by 2048 images, which is basically 2K by 2K, which may not sound like a lot, but it is because in the
Half
film
of 4K.
Yeah, exactly. In the film world, 4K is two 2K squares basically next
Yep.
to each other. And you may have heard about something called anamorphic, where people just squeeze a widescreen down to a square. This 2K by 2K is basically anamorphic 4K. And frankly, that's close enough. So yeah, when you're running a 2048 by 2048 like image through this, it looks really good. And that's when you get the individual hairs and things like this. You can do a 1024 by 1024, which you can think about as anamorphic 1080p.
But what about aliasing when you stretch that 2K by 2K back to 4K by 2K?
You don't really get
No
any-
aliasing?
No aliasing.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just your human eye just can't see it. You're taking your pixels and you're stretching them just a little bit, and you can't see it. Like if for all the technical BS around filmmaking, like at the end of the day, you can't forget that if it looks good, it works.
Yeah.
Right? It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what bit rate you're using. It doesn't matter what the dynamic range of your camera was. If
Yeah.
it looks good, it works. So
I'm always frustrated by these workflows I see where everyone's working in like ProRes 444 and like they want to preserve all the detail, but they shot on cameras that record MP4s in 8-bit. And I'm like, the original plate was 100 megabytes and you gave me the transcoded of this and it's 5.5 gigs. Why did you do this?
you're not saving any quality here.
But that's
That's why I love that EXR DWAB format.
dude,
It's like,
DWAB is the best.
DWAB is the best.
DWAB.
Like, compress it, guys. Come on. It can be compressed.
Yeah,
We're
no.
good.
EXR is the best format. I if I have to like render out a plate to bring it back in, I will render out an EXR sequence because After Effects processes it really, really quickly. Most programs process EXRs really quickly. I cannot stand PNG files. Do not use PNG files anymore. They are the worst file type to use because they are unnecessarily large. They are unnecessarily difficult to decode. People just like, oh, I needed a file that's kind of like a JPEG, but also has built-in alpha. Well, guess what? EXR does that, and it's so much better. And the file sizes are even smaller than PNGs.
But only if you're dwabbing.
Only if you use the compression type called DWAB.
Or DWAA, actually.
DWAA, there's not much difference. It's just in the number of lines it renders out. And so DWAA is actually better for Nuke. And maybe Fusion. It's whatever, like, if it's a scanline renderer, which Nuke is, when you're compositing, it works better for that. But DWAB is going to be faster for pretty much every other program.
Do you know what DW stands for?
I actually don't.
DreamWorks.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's a DreamWorks format. They're the ones who invented it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Man.
So I also discovered that EXR and a bunch of other stuff is also like under the jurisdiction now of something called the Academy Software Foundation. It's basically an open source software foundation run by the Film Academy, the same people that do the Oscars. And they have things like OpenColor.io, OCIO, ACES, OpenEXR. There's also like Open Timeline IO, which is like a timeline, open source timeline implementation.
ACES is
a big deal.
ACES is like a revolutionary color science type thing. And it's revolutionary because it's like basically any camera that came out over the last couple decades, their color science would be different. And so if you're shooting on multiple cameras in a movie, you can tell when suddenly it cuts to a different type of camera. You're like, oh, well, the colors...
That blue's purple now.
Like even, maybe not purple, but like subtle differences, right? It's like, oh, it's a slightly different blue, almost like you're putting a LUT on it, but it's always native to every single camera. But now there's a way to basically just take any camera format, you convert it to ACES, and now everything is compatible. Every color is the same. And so it just made for easy unification of every single type of render or camera or image, whatever.
Yep.
And
it's also
ACES. So if you hear the word ACES when it comes to filmmaking, like, it's good stuff.
And it's also a kind of format where like it lets you have a ton of different like types of colors. It lets you have a ton of range or dynamics.
HDR.
It's linear by default for certain things. Like it's just very well managed, and it unifies the color of everything. So
CRNW, you say you use EXR-DWAA for your projects. Are you using Nuke? Because if not, consider switching to DWAB. I don't know what he's talking about my muscles for, but whatever. So you're talking with one of those guys, right?
Yeah, we were learning more about like open source, and because right now this tool, this CorridorKey tool, is open source, and I like this idea that people can develop with it, they can use it. Like the rule, I've had some people complain about my licensing not being very straightforward. I feel like my licensing is pretty straightforward.
It's like, you can use it for free. That's fine.
Yeah.
But if you want to actually make a program with it and sell that,
I need our permission.
Yeah.
That's pretty straightforward.
And it's like, just send us an email. We'll talk to you. We've already, I don't know if we want to talk about who we've already licensed it with.
Not yet. We'll just leave it at that. But yeah, what it boils down to is like anybody can use this however they want. They can make any variations of it if they want to. Ideally, they share it, and put it back out there and show their, process and what they're implementing. Like if somebody makes a really cool After Effects program, the idea is that they would then also put that up and be like, here's how I made this. Here's how I took CorridorKey and accelerated it to run in After Effects to like help everybody make better plugins and, kind of solve chroma keying.
Right.
The only rule is like you can't just make that plugin and then start selling it, if it contains the CorridorKey model and code and stuff like that.
Which is why the After Effects plugin you can get on aescripts.com is free.
Yeah, because we said
you can go download it right now.
Get it.
Yep.
Go for it.
Once again, that one might not run very smoothly and might give you a bad experience. Just want to put it out there. It might run great for like you if you're on a Mac or if you have the right GPUs. Just be forewarned. It's very early software.
Yeah.
Like everything else.
It's like the other side of open source too. Is just now anybody can package it up and say that this is CorridorKey for this thing.
Yeah, if you want to try CorridorKey, the most reliable way for anybody starting out with the first time is easy CorridorKey.
Yeah.
Start with that, and then this Fusion plugin is probably going to be the next best thing. In fact, it will be the best thing once it's had a few more days.
Yeah, I tried to use it a little bit last week, but the CPU it was too.
Yeah,
heavy
that's
on
all
the
fixed
CPU.
now. It's all fixed. It's
So
running
I'm
on
excited
GPU.
Yeah, try it again. Because you just go into Fusion and you just pipe your little nodes in.
Give us a week, guys, and we'll finish. But seriously, it's moving at that speed. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to talk about the video you're working on now?
Actually, I did. Well, kind of, yes. So I have a question for you guys and everybody here in the chat. Okay, I need people's thoughts on this.
Hit me with it.
Okay, so
Hit them with it.
we have a moment here where there's all this momentum behind this project to make chroma keying better. Basically make masking, matting, etc. better. It's a VFX process, right? A lot of people are doing AI roto tools, AI alpha tools. People haven't really solved the whole matting issue of actually giving you a cutout of the foreground with the correct colors demixed. You know, it's like that was the second half that's always been missing. And so we tackled that here with CorridorKey. Now, I want this to keep progressing forwards, and I don't want it to be something where, you know, a company makes a plugin that they start selling for one program, another program has their plugin, and there's like 20 different versions of this. They're all behind closed doors. We don't know how any of them work. And now we have our CorridorKey open source plugin that's like version 1.0, and then you have like version 2.0s, 3.0s, 4.0s, all this other stuff running in all the software, which, you know, I guess great if we get there, but I feel like that didn't happen. And it didn't happen because no one's really trying to solve that problem. And I feel like if it kind of happens, it's not really going to solve the problem anymore, and it's going to lose momentum. Whereas we have all this momentum behind CorridorKey to keep it moving forwards. So I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to go about releasing the data set and potentially the training like programs as well. Because if I release the data set too soon here, before there's even tools to use CorridorKey, what's very likely going to happen is that other companies will just take the data set, the training programs, basically redo it, and have all their own versions of this neural keying system inside their programs.
And they won't have to call it CorridorKey.
And yeah, they won't have to call it CorridorKey, which, you know, not that I've invented the idea of using a neural network, but still, you know, I put a lot of work into this, guys. Come on. But also, like, it could steal a lot of this momentum behind CorridorKey and having this like kind of open community research. And the biggest thing that's like, in my opinion, that needs to happen is it's the tools, right? You need to have CorridorKey as an easy-to-use plugin inside of a program. And then if it's there and it's already easy to use and it's good, then I can release the data set because the companies won't necessarily have any incentive to then go and develop their own because there's already a free one right there that's good.
What exactly would be the purpose of releasing the data set?
So that we can then work together to make even better models and improve upon it. Maybe even come with entirely new architectures to make it even better, because, you know, it's a start, right? I've trained a model, I put together this data set, might find there's holes in the data set. New types of data would make it better. Maybe new model architectures would make it better. There's a whole bunch of things.
Well, the data set itself could absolutely be expanded.
100%.
Outside of, like, obviously you did the whole, like, stretching, color changing type variation thing to get hundreds and thousands of different variations, but still a finite number of input examples.
But it's like, yeah, we could get some more examples that have like partial green screens. It's not full back or something like that. And the Compositing Academy guy, you know, he had a shot with a pumpkin that didn't work as well. So it's like, okay, maybe we see a little more orange in there. You know? It's like, just throw, like, if you release it, then people can kind of like spot those holes, or wherever a problem comes up. It's like, okay, I can then maybe now make a training data point that solves that problem, and then hopefully that won't come up for anyone else, and hopefully that'll fix any other potential problems that could come up from a similar variable.
So my question comes down to this, and this is the question I pose to all of you guys as well. Should I wait to release the data set and the training models and programs until after there's a good implementation of CorridorKey in DaVinci Resolve, After Effects, and Nuke? Like, once there's a good open source implemented plugin or tool that's free and easy to install, and people have used it, they're like, okay, we've got it working, it's implemented, it's useful, it's usable. Now we're ready for training data and to improve the models. You know, to me, it removes the incentive for other programs or other companies to immediately train their own versions because there's already an implemented version. Or do I release the data set now, which risks just confusing the current environment where like tools are only halfway there, but maybe it also keeps the momentum going more now. You know, I don't want to lose steam on the project either. So yeah, this is where I'm at with it. I don't know what's the best thing to approach with here because the data, you know, on one hand, somebody could recreate the data set. It's going to take them a couple weeks of work.
Yeah,
if they really wanted to. On the other hand, people are saying it's like one of those valuable things that helps make this unique, you know? And do I want to, is it good to preserve that uniqueness until there's footing with all this programming, you know, as opposed to
I kind of feel like giving it a little bit more time to mature, I think is like a right call, because it's like you still want to release the data set. And especially you don't want to like shoot yourself in the foot at the same time. Like with the DaVinci one that like just like kind of passed that bar like within the last day. It's like, okay, giving it a few more days or giving it a week or so. It's like, it seems like that would be pretty helpful. Like it seems like that'd be pretty beneficial if it's like we are still seeing, like if we weren't still seeing like tangible improvements, then maybe it's like, okay, then do it. But it, you know, we haven't like plateaued, you know, on the improvement side yet.
Yeah, and everybody we've talked to over the couple of weeks are saying like that's the valuable part. So, you know, yeah, I think waiting if we want to get our footing in place sounds like the move.
Yeah, and I don't want to like, it's not that I want to like take too much ownership over this, because the only way it's going to progress is if other people are working on it too. Like I've pushed it about as far as I can push it with my knowledge.
Right.
So for the quality to get any better, now requires somebody else who knows more about machine learning than I do to come in and start giving me ideas.
Yeah.
But I've also realized that right now the thing that's holding it back isn't necessarily the model's quality. It's actually being able to use it in the program.
Yeah.
And to me, good enough. Somebody asked a good question, like what is good enough? The current like DaVinci Resolve plugin, which is running at 2048 by 2048. It's a double-click install. There's no like Python stuff running in the background, and it renders a full frame in 1 second, and it's generally bug-free. Like that's good enough to me. Like it needs to be intelligent enough to be using your GPU and doing GPU acceleration on computers that go at least back to like 2000 series GPUs. You know what?
From the 2000s?
Like 2080s.
I was like, no one's using GPUs from the year 2000, Niko. They barely existed.
You can install it right now with a floppy disk.
Yeah. And ideally like 1000 series GPUs. Those are rocks, by the way.
Dude, I mean, my first Puget had 4 1080s in it. So before the 2000 series.
Yeah.
An NVIDIA RTX 1.
It gets a little tricky when you get to like pre-RTX cards because they don't have the same like architecture in them.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is like, you know, people need to be able to use it on their computers. There's also another guy named James in the CorridorKey Discord is working on like a community cloud service where you can put your GPU on it and get tokens for offering it up for rendering, like say during the day or the night or whatever, like the night. And then the day when you're rendering stuff, you can then use all those tokens to like process more shots if you have to process lots of shots. And it would all just be like a community token exchange kind of thing, which would be super cool because if you don't have a good computer, you can still use that instead.
It's like a VFX commune.
Yeah.
Commune.
But yeah, I guess I saw a lot of people's thoughts there in the chat, and it kind of sounds like waiting is the right call. And yeah, like I want to have things progress forward, but I'm kind of realizing that right now it's like until you can double click in, have it installed in After Effects, and have it render as fast as any other filter should, you know, or have it double click and installed in Premiere or double click and installed in Nuke, until it's like as easy to install as any other basic plugin, and it works at least at the speeds of like, you know, 1 to 2 seconds per frame and generally bug free. Like once those are implemented and people have that as an option, I think that really changes the tone around the data set coming out, because no one's no longer trying to beat somebody to the game and get a plugin implemented. Now it becomes about how can we improve this? How can we make it better? So yeah, that might be the way to do it. And, you know, I mean, if any of you listening right now are experienced ML people and would like to actually jump in and like work on this now, by all means, come to the CorridorKey Discord, send me a message. Like I'm totally down to start working on stuff now and experimenting. But I think a full public release might be a thing that I wait on at least a little bit.
A little bit longer.
Yeah.
This stuff is evolving so fast. So like waiting a little bit longer might just be another few weeks, maybe a couple months.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, that's very true. I mean,
it's not like you're going to hold on to this for a few years.
You know, hopefully like this, because Alex is the guy developing this Resolve plugin, and it's all open source. You know, so hopefully his process of doing this, because it's openly shared, can lead somebody else to be like, oh, he did it that way for Fusion. Well, if I just do it like this for Nuke, it should, you know, be a breeze, or like After Effects or whatever. So, you know, for all I know, within the span of 4 or 5 weeks, this plugin issue might be just completely a moot point. So,
but then it'll just be a matter of like, all right, now can we make a better model to actually do the
Yes.
job better?
And that's where it comes down to. That's where people need the training data set. And ideally, we have a community doing experiments and communicating with each other on the Corridor Creates Discord. Like, I feel like if I can take some sort of like leadership in this to at least keep people coordinated and gathered who are passionate about this and give them a central spot to focus that, like, then things will happen and this will progress. You know, it's a big group effort by that point.
I feel like this is what happened. You spent a couple months building an engine.
Right.
And I'm sitting here being like, maybe you should also like build a chassis around the engine, maybe put a steering, like maybe some tires. Like, I'm just saying, an engine without a car is kind of a weird thing. Whatever, man.
some sick
And then
flames on the
immediately within
side.
a week, this car is just built around it. and
It's a
now
rocket
there's
ship.
like other cars being built too, all using the same engine. And it's like, there's not enough cars yet for us to make the second engine. That
Yes.
can be faster.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Because the second engine, it'll be better than the V4 you built initially. It'll be a V8.
Yes. So yeah, everybody listening to this, if you want to help out, come on to the Corridor Creates Discord. Love to have some help making plugins. Love to have some help in ideas, training new models. You know, even maybe making data. We have a pretty good data set. I know people haven't seen it yet because I haven't released it publicly. If you're like, you know, your data set might have some holes in it. I just want to say we have a pretty good data set. So, you know, I'm not sure how important it will be to actually fix holes in the data set. I think it's model architecture that's really going to make the biggest change.
Perhaps. The problem solving side of me really wants to help contribute to this data set because I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I can easily just render out a whole bunch of different examples of random things going in and out of green screens. It's like, oh, maybe this will be an example I'd want to do. And it's like, I can set up an example to render out using the render network and literally just render out tons of different examples.
I mean, that would be really useful, actually.
But again, it was like the reason why I didn't do that the first time is because I was busy working on this Gaussian Splat video.
That's what I feel like is so exciting about this as like an open source project too. Is like if that training data is out there, then it's like you're not just contributing by like tweaking some code or just like, oh, like this maybe doesn't run as efficiently. You can actually be making shots that go in there. Like you have your actual little DNA in there, which I think is a very fun prospect for a lot of
That's
artists
true.
out
That's
there.
very
You know,
true.
it's like, oh yeah, like I got it. I got a shot in there. A little piece of me is right there in that data set. You know,
Yeah.
it's like it gives a lot more like weight to it. You know, emotionally. You're like, hey,
Yeah.
I actually really helped that.
And I'm sure we're going to discover things like, oh, like turns out it doesn't have enough orange motion blurred objects.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure those holes do
Yeah.
exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the like the there's a nuke plugin?
There is
Currently?
a new plugin. I haven't tried it.
Yeah.
I suspect it's kind of running into the same issues a lot of the other very early plugins I've run into, which is if you're running the exact same machine as the person who built the plugin, it will run on their GPU.
Yeah.
But if you're using anything else, your drivers are slightly different, then it runs on your CPU, and then it takes a minute to render a frame rather than 1
Oh my
second.
God, jeez.
Because I feel like
Yeah.
that's such a that's like the big one that
That's
needs
such
to
a
be
huge
like
one.
perfected
Yeah.
because it's like that is like the
It's
industry
unusable if it's
VFX artists
not.
are using Nuke, and so it's like it needs to be running perfectly in Nuke,
Yeah.
you know, for it to really catch on.
Well, the dude from Compositing Academy literally like had it running in Nuke, kind of. I don't know how he was implementing
He actually
it.
processed it using like easy CorridorKey.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
using
And
something
then-
separate and then bringing it in with a
Yeah.
separate node tree, which is why his node tree for CorridorKey was so simple compared to the other ones. But like he did this amazing comparison
Oh,
of
it's so
the traditional
interesting.
workflow using like Keylight, IBK,
Mm-hmm.
and CorridorKey, and I was genuinely surprised that CorridorKey did as well as it did.
I was
from
too.
an actual professional compositor who's worked on real movies and has
Mm-hmm.
all these very specific examples of like, these are things I've struggled with. Here's exactly how I solved those things. And this is what CorridorKey did with them. And it just worked.
It was very surprising and like kind of thrilling
Yeah.
to watch that video and be like, all right, I won. Oh my God, I won again. Well, didn't lose that one. Didn't win that one, but that's probably good. I need to appear humble.
And it's like it's realistic too. It's like, you know, it's so there's so many different variables for shooting on a green screen. It's like the reality that CorridorKey would be perfect at every single thing every single time is like, you know, no tool is perfect for every single thing every single time. So
Yeah.
it's like we want to get it as and all those other tools still exist. It's not like you're not
Yeah,
going to be able to use
exactly. And it's one of those
IBK
things where
now
it's
that
like-
CorridorKey's out. It's like you'll just have a lot more options, and hopefully CorridorKey gets you there a little faster and a little more easily.
Let's say CorridorKey worked great on the shot, but for whatever reason, there's a part of the frame that is flickering, maybe due to the alpha matte hint was like flickering as well. And it's like, oh, well, guess what? You have access to all the other tools to composite a better keyed out hand. You just mask the hand and like use IBK on that.
Yeah, it's like
Now you combine the two, best of both worlds. Great.
Yeah. Now you're just maybe you're just rotoing one section instead of having to roto the whole thing.
Yeah.
From the get go. So.
Yeah.
But it's been really
even
cool.
that at like that bare minimum, like that's still really
Absolutely
really good.
Yeah, it's been really cool to see the response to it.
Yeah.
The backlash, the controversy.
Backlash.
No. It's I think the fact that you made it
fallout.
open source, like everyone was like, "Oh, okay. You're not trying to make a product to sell to people," which is what a lot of people might expect us to do when you make a product. You're like, "No, I just want it to be better for everyone."
Yeah, it's just
Like,
be helpful.
we make videos. That is our business model.
Right. Yeah.
We're not in the
We don't want to be a
business of-
software company.
And so I think it makes a lot of sense to open source it and, leverage our reach to help popularize it and get all of the unified communal effort going into it. I think
Yeah.
it's a
It
really
also
cool
shows how
idea.
important like normal coding is too, because like the vibe coding got you very far,
Oh,
but
yeah.
like we still needed so many like actual programmers that really know this stuff to go in and make everything way nicer.
Yeah.
Like it's like that is still so necessary to the process. And that's another aspect that I think is nice about seeing the fallout from it.
Fallout. Yeah, there's a couple of questions here. Will one well-trained model handle virtually anything, or will be valued having different flavors? Generally speaking, one well-trained model will handle anything for a certain screen tone so far. And maybe you could train it to do all screen colors, but currently, like, what I have is biased towards green, so you can do blue-green to yellow-green. And the idea behind that is, like, if you actually film on a green screen and you don't just pull up, like, TikTok dance videos for your AI demos, you'll find that you have a lot of shots where it's like, oh, it's a blurry thing in the corner, or there's a shot of nothing on the green screen, or like there's an explosion and all that's left is a couple dots, and there's like you have all these shots that are like there's no discernible object. Like an AI is not going to look at that and be like, oh, that's a hand. It's like, no, it's a blob of brown. But because it's a green screen key, you're still just being like, hey, just make the background transparent. And like green screen keying works in those situations, whereas like something that's AI based that can identify an object doesn't work in those situations. And those situations happen all the time when you're filming on a green screen. And so this model is still very much biased towards that baseline rule of like, if it's the background color, remove it. So even if something's weird and it can't tell what it's looking at, it still does it, as opposed to being like, oh, is that a human or not? And like you get that flicker of like, somebody's moving weird, right?
You're walking through like your living room and it's just like couch, potted plant, it's like there's so many things that it would need to be trained on flawlessly for those to work perfectly.
Exactly.
And it's like, you just have to spend, you got to do a little bit to get a nice green screen up, or not even like nice, just put a little.
Yeah, you got to commit a little bit.
You got to commit, a little bit more to just putting something up.
Yep. So on the one hand, it means you can't just do any color you want. Like it's not a general background removal tool. But on the other hand, it means you can have shots where you can't tell what you're filming because it's an amorphous blob, for whatever reason, and it still works then, which is what the goal was.
And the color, like, because like having to choose between like blue or green for your screen doesn't apply as much on this because you can wear green. And it won't key that out, Obviously, if you're wearing like an exact shade of the green screen,
then it'll get a little confused.
But like
I'd be curious to see.
Like, how close?
Like,
can
if you have
get?
a proper alpha hint for a person wearing a green morph suit on a green screen.
Did you try that? I have some of that in the training data. Not quite like that, but close enough. Where
Like
it's
a green
like
guy.
The alpha hint's correct, but there's a tone of green, and if it's exactly the same tone of green as a green screen, it biases towards removing it. Not always, but most of the time. Which is actually what I want it to be doing. It's like come on, bro. You could at least like don't wear the exact color of the green screen.
Yeah, it's like you got to be able to see the difference even with your own eyes.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
you can't see it, the computer can't see it.
Exactly.
But like it's like it doesn't really need to do blue screen great because it's just like green screens are pretty accessible now. Like every streamer has one. There's a little pop up one. That's all you need because it's not about that exact shade of green. It's just about having a flat green background.
Exactly, 100%. And I should train a model for blue for all the people that do have blue screens. And it wouldn't be that hard to
throw
do.
them out.
I just have not done that yet. Yeah. So that's where the specific models come into play. Is like if you want a specific blue screen version, it's just a matter of training a model for that. But the subjects can be whatever. You can be filming smoke, you can be filming people. It doesn't matter.
So keep your eye out for CorridorKey Blue Edition. High voltage. It's gonna be like Mountain Dew naming.
Corridor Baja Blast.
We have to call it that.
It's like a teal screen specific. Yeah, for a very washed out pastel blue.
Code Red. We just do it each for each Mountain Dew flavor.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I love it.
CorridorKey Classic.
But McJari also asks, does the training look at the context of the whole image, and does the dataset necessarily have to contain a certain object or person? The answer is yes. Like the actual context of the image still matters. Like that's where it's doing both, right? It's both looking at the context and like what pixel am I looking at? Is it a person or is it a background from a whether or not it's a green point of view? But it also has the bias towards is this a green pixel or not green pixel? That's part of the background color. So it's truly doing both. And if it gets too abstract, it loses the ability to recognize what it's looking at, but it can still fall back on the color part of its brain. So that's what makes it pretty nice. And this is, a little pseudoscience-y theoretical because once again, it's a black box of neural networks, but that's at least how I see it working. Yeah.
Also, considering the depth perception side of things, I think doing a training set on stereo.
Yeah,
because that's the holdup Weta had, is that like they were working on this. Joe Lettieri told you good luck, but that's because his bar of quality was like, it has to be flawless between two stereo images, and they were not able to get it to that point.
He doesn't care about an After Effects plugin.
Yeah, he doesn't have to about an After Effects plugin for sure. He makes his entire program from scratch.
Yeah, he needs it to be perfect.
Yeah,
from every possible angle.
Yeah.
It's Beeble, not Beeple.
Beeple's the guy.
We have a data set that's basically of all hair, by the way. You're like make a data set of wigs, all hair types and colors. Like that's already actually in the data set.
Yeah. Like you said, there's a lot of stuff in there already.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, we've shot our fair share of green screen
But
stuff.
even like doing a stereo version, I mean, you were talking about it before. It's like, well, yeah, you're making all the shots in CG, so you can just duplicate the camera and just inch it over.
And less than that, if you're using Octane, you literally just turn the camera into a stereo camera.
Yeah.
And it automatically renders the space difference correctly.
So theoretically, it sounds like not that hard to make it stereo. But would it actually work? Who knows?
But this is an example of all like the cool stuff that we can do once the training set and the data set and stuff's out there. You know, people have these cool ideas. But yeah.
And there's a difference too between the training data and the training program too, which are like separate.
I feel like I should release both.
Uploaded. Yeah.
The training data is a big one. Training program's a big one. Like one's like, where are you buying all your fantastic ingredients? Where's your secret spot where you catch your fish? And the other one is then, and what's the recipe for the soup that you make with that fish? You know, if I release both of them, everyone's gonna be able to go fish those fish and make that soup. But ideally, by that time, it's a good thing, and then everybody's still working together on CorridorKey and continuing to like push it forwards and make it the best it can be. But at the rate things are moving, I wouldn't be surprised if within 1 year green screens are obsolete.
Anyway,
100%. Like,
no, that was what you also just kept telling me, like off camera and whatnot. I was like, I mean, probably within like half a year, this entire idea is going to be obsolete.
Well, then everyone's just going to Gaussian Splat all the stuff that they do.
It's like you've pointed out now that like it's a matting problem, not a segmentation problem. And it's like now the whole industry. They're all tech bros essentially, to use a very generalized term for programmers. They don't have like the sort of artistic background of having worked on movies and having to run into those issues of like, oh yeah, sure, I was able to get an edge just fine with this auto keyer, but like I need a good edge here. I need to get like the hair to be transparent correctly. Now that I think that was the biggest justice your video did, was point out, hey everyone, this is a problem. Here's exactly why it's a problem.
Don't forget about this
This is
part.
how I'm trying to fix this problem, and this is how it can still be improved. And it's like, I imagine there's so many more people out there now who are like, oh, I didn't think about that. Well, I'm just going to take this segmentation tool I was making and just also train a neural network to do hair. And you're talking about how it's like just regenerate the edges.
Yeah. 100%.
Which is what you did on the Matrix video. It's like you did an auto segmentation thing, but instead of having those hard edges, you literally just generated new edges.
Right.
Which is a whole different concept of trying to retain the edges. It's like if the edges still look good, like you're saying, if they look good, it works.
If they look good, it works. Yeah. Now, to be fair, that took me like a month to do that shot and get those edges generated. It's my first time ever trying that. But yeah, it's you don't need to unmix the edges if you just have the computer predict a perfect unmixed edge for you. Which it could just hallucinate itself if it needs to. But, it's not obsolete yet. And people probably will still be shooting on green screen all the time, because it does have that power of giving you, at some point you need to give instructions to your tool. And what better way than being like, hey, I put up a colored sheet in the background, so generally that colored sheet should be considered transparent. Like, that's a great rule. It's a great guide, and it's really not that hard to do. So, even if green screens do become obsolete from a certain technical point of view, it's still a great indicator when you want something to be transparent,
And we're always going to need to cut things out and put them on a background.
Yep. Yeah.
Do you guys want to talk about Gaussian splats real quick?
Yeah, I would
we're
love
done?
to.
We don't have too much more time in this podcast.
Yeah,
but
so 4D Gaussian splats.
boring.
Okay, in your video, you're talking about how this is the future. How much of it do you actually think is the future?
honestly, all of it.
Really?
Yeah, I believe this. The problem is that there's a lot of currency bias.
Recency bias?
Recency bias, or not necessarily. I don't know how to describe it. It's basically
Currency bias. It's always about the USD.
I don't mean currency. I mean people look at it as it exists right now. Mm-hmm. The top comment on the video right now is like, oh man, I wonder if people will look back on this in 10, 20 years like they look back on CGI from 20 years ago and be like, man, it looks really splatty. And then a lot of the other comments are like, it looks splatty now. Like, this isn't it's obviously just not a real thing. And it's like, okay, right now. And yeah, and people, I saw some people complaining online about when you zoom in and look at a splat, it's all just you see the actual crisscrosses and all that pattern. It's that doesn't look good. It's well, also if you zoom in on a picture, you see individual blocks. They're called pixels.
If you walk too close to your TV, you can tell it's individual LEDs.
Yeah.
If you put your eyes really close to your wall, you see quarks.
But the big deal about the 4D Gaussian splat stuff is that right now it requires 100 cameras, a whole array. Each of those cameras is probably $2,000. And it's okay, that's a huge investment. Not some random person's going to go do that.
Right.
You have to go somewhere to do it. But they are actively working on reducing the number of cameras. They showed me an example that they were able to make with 3 cameras.
Crazy.
And it's so experimental because they're having to do a lot of diffusion fill-in type stuff.
Yeah, you have to generate all the other angles.
Yeah, and it's by leveraging we have this angle, we can just regenerate it from a slightly different angle using diffusion, and it's basically perfect just to get that slightly different camera view. If you have enough cameras, you can generate the slightly different angles around those cameras. You've now reduced the camera load. Obviously, Apple's working on the whole Sharp thing where it's they can make an entire Gaussian splat off of a single image. But if you go off axis, you can now tell it was made from a single image. Yeah. I've heard people are now hacking that to work with maybe 2 images, and I think it's in the very near future, and by near future, I mean the next 2 years. I don't know what it'll be in the next 2 years. In AI terms, that's decades from now. But it was gigabytes worth of data that we captured for that interview. And it comes down to maybe 50 megabytes per second, which is the same.
Oh, that's just like video.
It's the same bitrate as regular video for a full volumetric capture. It didn't come across super clearly in the intro of the video, but there's a moment where I'm sitting at my desk and I have the 4D Gaussian splat of the intro playing in real time on my computer, and I'm orbiting around it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was just a 3-second shot, so it's not it was just in there, and I kind of look at the camera, I'm like, wow. I don't know how clear it was, but it was me literally just showing this working in real time. And that's the crazy thing. And so one of the examples they were showing to me was the idea that why even use a green screen if you can just volumetrically capture someone with all of the transparency as is?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was the first time I'd really considered that. I was like, okay, that's interesting. People are already investing hundreds of thousands of dollars into LED walls, or giant green screen stages. What if you can just have the proper lighting that you want going into it, and then you just capture that without having to have all the green spill and whatnot? And relighting Gaussian splats is the current sort of wall.
Yeah.
That's where we're kind of I touched on relighting a little bit in this video, but it's such a simplified implementation just in theory, because each of these Gaussians, they have view-dependent color. They change color depending on where you're viewing it from, but they don't have any shader characteristics. They don't have whether or not they're glossy or matted or have surface detail that only show up in certain points of view with lights versus not. That's something that textured 3D objects have.
But it's since it's
Gaussian
just a blob,
don't. Yeah.
It's it doesn't.
And so when I'm
it's not a
relighting
roughness to the
stuff,
blob,
it
it's
just
a blob.
It's basically just taking that Gaussian and pushing the color more towards white.
Yeah.
What degree of white do you push it to depending on the intensity of light hitting it? And so everything will kind of get pushed to white evenly, whether or not it's a glossy object or a matted object. So that's kind of where the problems are right now. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, if you take a neural network and understand the radiance of a scene, you can start to understand the material properties of what we're looking at, and someone will figure out how to implement that into a secondary layer on top of a Gaussian splat to actually get proper relighting.
Yeah.
That, I think, is going to be solved sooner than later.
How does Beeble work with a Gaussian splat? Like,
I have no idea. I've never used Beeble.
Theoretically, it would work just like earlier footage. I think
That's
that's the
what I
other
imagine,
aspect too. Is like you don't necessarily need to solve all these problems in the 3D photo simulation space. Once you have a Gaussian splat and it's kind of low res, but it's moving, then you can treat that just like low res video footage.
Yeah.
And you can up res it using AI.
Yeah, sure.
You don't need to necessarily have a super high density Gaussian splat. You can just up res it using AI, and then you can relight it using AI. You know,
Yeah,
so
no,
there's-
exactly. And that was something I wanted to do for the intro because we had the baked-in lighting for me giving that whole like spiel at the beginning, right? And like I made the camera moves for it, worked with Lucas and getting him actually rendered out. We rendered that the Gaussian splat of me talking all in-house in Blender. There were some issues with it we had to fix. 40V actually wanted to render the whole intro themselves. They had a better in-house proprietary renderer, but we just kind of ran out of time to be able to like do that. So we did it, and we were able to just take those camera animations for that intro, and I did the whole intro, all the backgrounds in After Effects using the Gaussian Splatting plugin, not the post-shot plugin. That plugin is virtually useless. But the Gaussian Splatting plugin allows you to do all the particle effects, all the recoloring effects. I did all the motion blur with like pixel motion blur. My RSMB license is on my computer at home, and I anyway.
Real smart motion blur.
Yeah.
The software is so old.
And yet it's still the best. Why? Yeah, and just being able to drop in a 3D scene, and it worked between each of the cameras because the coordinates were the same for each of those shots. So like I dropped in the intro, I was a foot tall in the room. And when I say I dropped in the intro, I dropped in the Studio 3 scan into the intro, and it was like way too big. So I scaled it down. I positioned it to where I wanted it to be. I was like, okay, great. And I spent the rest of the evening like doing all the effects and all that stuff, right? But then I started the second shot, and I just dropped in the splat, and it was perfectly aligned, perfectly scaled. I was like, I didn't have to do anything.
Wow.
It was just it already worked. But the downside is that I had to manually color correct the rendered out splat of me to match the footage. And I put all of my skill into trying to do it, adjusting the gamma of the various color channels and all that stuff. And I think I did a decent job, but it's not perfect. It
looks pretty
still
good.
limited by my artistic ability. I think I did a decent job, to be clear, but that was something I was thinking about using Beeble for.
Yeah.
Is why I was mentioning that, because it's like, could that have done? Because I did the whole like color matcher effect in After Effects, and it looked at the background. I was like, oh, it's pretty warm, and it just made me like brown. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
ugh. Same thing with the back courtyard. It just made me green. I was like, god dang it. So I just had to
It's
do
like-
all like the levels and curves adjustments manually.
If the differences in those different scenes aren't like too crazy, it's not like it's like neon signs like on either side of you. It's just like outside in the back garden,
Yeah.
or like just in the office there. It's like you don't have to push Beeble too hard, because I've seen that with Beeble. Whenever like the lighting gets pushed like really hard, then that's when you get like the really like
Sure,
soft,
yeah.
doughy look, plasticky look to
But
the
like when I'm running the stuff in Octane Render, it's like I open up the splat, and each of those Gaussians actually emit light. They are light sources. So you put something in the scene, and it's already lit. You don't have to put lights in the scene.
Yeah.
It's just being lit by the environment, kind of like an HDRI. Now, the intensity isn't exactly there. Like a light source isn't going to emit the same intensity of light as the real room would, but it's still emitting, color. It's just at the same intensity of all the color around it. But you can... Yeah, it was like literally those shots where I had like the orbs floating around the studio and whatnot. Like I didn't add any extra lights. That was just the studio lighting, and it matched perfectly. It was so interesting. So being able to like unify some of these splats in the future, like 4D Gaussian splats are so new that like right now you have to do it in like sequence form. Oh, actually, here's a fun story. So in Octane Render, you can't distort any splats. So the whole scan of the city that I got that was bending up and over and actually folding and distorting, I had to do that effect using an unreleased plugin I can't talk about yet, but it
Secret plugin.
So that's how I was able to actually see the distortion. I can do it all in Cinema 4D, and it worked in the viewport. But if I try to open that up and actually load it up in Octane Render, none of that distortion would be there. So I had to basically make my 250 frame animation and render out an animation sequence at 2 gigabytes per frame. I have a 0.5 terabyte file for that one shot. It's 500 gigs for the city bending up and over. And I used it for the second shot where it's like looking up, and so it's the same shot. I'm recycling, and that works. But it's like, okay, that was a major thing because I wanted to like render it on the render network, but I didn't want to have to upload 500 gigs.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I had to like render it on my computer overnight. And I did that like Wednesday night last week. I did most of the effects literally at the last minute. It was a race to the finish on that video.
You were stressed out.
It was a little stressed out. But like the possibilities are still there, and they're still very real. All the things that people are complaining about are all just technical temporary problems. Like, capture is still a problem. And that honestly, there was a big problem trying to like create these 3D scans with the 360 drone. This video was like sponsored by the 360 drone, and we were supposed to like have this whole thing about how great it is to use it. And to be clear, I did get some good scans with it, but it was so much more of a headache than I anticipated it being because these tools are still so young. Like you have to take the 360 image, you have to bake it down to a cube map, and then you track it individually. But if you just track each of those frames individually, the program won't know that those pictures are taken from the same location. They could be off by a little bit, and that will ruin your scan. It's a whole deep dive. There's a moment in this Gaussian Splat video where I start ranting about like, Metashape was the only one that could do it. And Daniel does this thing where he starts cross-fading between these ranting moments, and it hurts. It hurts to see it because, but I get it. To be clear, I get it. This video is not a tutorial. This is an explainer of what this is to the mass market of people, rather than the people who are legitimately interested. If you want to know how to use 360 images and splats, go to Ollie Huntonen. Ollie Huntonen on YouTube has this whole channel dedicated to like learning how to do splats. It's great.
You should just release that take raw on the website of you explaining at your desk,
dude. And but here's the thing though, is that like
30-minute clip.
We have this whole 25-minute video and all of these things, but that one moment where it's cross-fading between my rants was 6 weeks of my life. It was all the problem solving, all the figuring out, all the explorations of can I get a better splat here. I did 9 different versions of the splat of the Corridor Studio.
Wow.
3 different versions of the splat of Inspiration Point because I was getting like weird blurry edges, like ghosting images where like the misalignment of the track. It wasn't that the quality of the footage was bad, it's the tracking data wasn't good enough, so the scan wasn't good enough. It ended up being a whole thing, and it was like, oh yeah, and then like all of that effort, all of that exploration is not in the video.
It was a funny crossfade gag.
Yeah. And granted, it's like, had I not gone through that effort, I wouldn't have gotten some of the results I got in that video. So like, obviously it's not just wasted per se, but it's like, man, I wanted to talk about the specific workflow. I wanted to talk more about like doing all this stuff. And it's just not the place for it.
That's the tough thing about being a host for videos. A lot of these things like you're really interested in or really passionate about, but they aren't the right thing for the video. They help the video get made and they inform all of your moves behind the video, but like it's just the person shooting the video or editing it needs to be like, yeah, we don't need that.
Yeah.
Or it's just like, I'm getting bored.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes it is just as simple as like, yep.
Yeah, like I saw a comment on the video pointing out that moment and being like, I hate the trend when YouTube videos just gloss over the workflow side of things. Like, I really wanted to know how you did it. And it's like, well, there are other YouTube channels dedicated to doing this.
Yeah.
And it's like, I realize this video is just not what that should be. It's an explainer. We're trying to teach, like my parents watched it and they're like, we loved it. I have no idea what's going on, but we understood some of it. If I started talking about the specific workflow of trying to vibe code a conversion script to take your Metashape exported data so that it can work in Colmap and also split your images out into different views and all of the stuff I put effort into, they would have been like, oh, okay, he's talking about something funny again. Okay.
Yeah, it's like you got to like ride the line of interest like so hard for, obviously you want to make a good video regardless of who's watching it, but there is the level of like you want a good amount of people to be interested in it, like you want it to appeal to a lot of people.
Also, I spent so much time trying to understand the minutia of how Gaussian splats work just so that I could dumb it down in the best way possible. Like the whole, like the first like quarter of the video is like the explainer of what Gaussian splats are, how radiance fields work and all that stuff. And it's like, I now feel like I'm an expert in how that stuff works. Not like coding PhD level by any means, but like, I understand what they are. I understand how they work. And I didn't before then. And I got to a point where I feel like I could explain it at a pretty easy level. And at the same time, I didn't explain it in a very technical way. And I wanted to explain it more technically, but I had to keep reining it back.
That's like, you want everyone to have a good time when they're watching it. And it's like, even if your parents were like a little lost throughout, they're like, oh, we didn't understand what's going on, but we liked it.
Yeah.
It's like, if you went on a super long tangent, then it's just like, well, they're just lost for so much more time. And like, there's a little less to like hook them back in. You know,
Yeah.
it's like eventually you just get like mentally you have to give up at some point if you're watching something that is too technical for what you know.
Well, I think the top comment on that video is how you did such a good job at making a dense subject digestible.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the thing I'm most proud of with the video at the end of the day. I think it did a good job of doing that. But like, man, that last week was so stressful. The ending scene after the 4D stuff where like I'm sitting on your couch, we filmed that Friday night.
Oh man.
Filmed it Friday night. Daniel edited it on Saturday as I finished a lot of the effects on Saturday as well. We were both here till Saturday night. That's why I didn't come out on Saturday for all you website subscribers. It wasn't done.
Thank you for your grace.
Yeah. You guys got it a few minutes early.
But yeah, man. Now that I've actually done some stuff with Gaussian splats, like I understand their current limitations, but I can also foresee how much easier they'll be to use. Like it'll be pretty good pretty soon. I think.
Well, it was like how subtly it was in the new Superman.
Yeah.
It was like such a good sign of like, oh yeah, like they got like a really, really good result with this. And like the technology is better now than it was a couple years ago when they were working on those shots.
100%.
So it's like, if it was slipped in that easily to a huge like blockbuster movie like that, like you're going to see it everywhere now.
Yeah. But that was still like they were, because it was a feature length film, they were having to maximize the quality at the expense of anything else.
Yeah.
Hence why they're like, 6 gigabytes of frame. So it's like each of those splats was 6 gigs. At most, my splats were 2.5 gigs, and those were like for big scans.
Yeah.
And because I started getting them bigger and bigger and bigger, I'm like, yeah, more scans. Go to 13 million splats. Yeah, let's do that. 400,000 iterations. Yeah, I'm just gonna train it all night. But it's like it works, but then the file sizes are so huge. So that was kind of a hard thing working on the city bending shot. Is that like every time I would scrub to a new frame, I'd have to wait for 10 seconds while it loaded the new 2.5 gig file on to my VRAM to display it.
But yeah, it's like even though it was like one sequence, in Superman, it's like that is now one major movie VFX company that has put thousands of hours into Gaussian Splat. So like even though the technology outside of that with the guys that you visited, the studio that you visited, like they have their own stuff that they're developing. It's like, well, like where Weta makes like a crowd simulation software, for one movie, and then it's like, okay, well now every movie is gonna have slightly better crowd simulations, and then just builds, and then other companies will start to get it, and then it's like, really cool precipice.
And like at the end of the video, I wanted to include more stuff about like where this stuff is going. Like I played a video game the other day. It was a vibe coded game. It was pretty simple, but it was like the environment was a Gaussian splat, and it was like an FPS. It was like a first person shooter with a gun. You could reload, you could shoot zombies, but the whole environment looked photoreal. It was kind of crazy. And the game, there were no game mechanics. You'd fire for half a second and all 30 bullets would be gone.
Close the game and reopen the game to reload.
Honestly, I think there's a little bit of that too. And it's hard to guess where this stuff is going to a degree, other than just kind of understanding that adoption is already so much faster than it was for nerfs because it's easy to use.
Yeah, those nerfs just kind of came and went.
And the other thing is that like it didn't make it into the end of the video, but I was talking about like Hollywood is going to love this. Why? Because it preserves real human performances. As opposed to like, we need this person to be able to do this thing, but we need it from a slightly different angle. I guess we'll just do a CG digi double takeover type thing. Yeah. And now we're having to hand animate this performance. But it's like if you're able to get, like that's what they did on Superman. They had like real human performances that they could view from any angle. So of course Hollywood's gonna love this.
Yeah. Although is that also a double-edged sword where like every Marvel movie has a billion reshoots because everything's like made by committee and they're just like, actually, I think we should make this shot 15 degrees rotated this way. And then you just go. I mean, obviously,
that's
it's like
easy.
It's faster to iterate, but then we're still in the position where like with Stranger Things, where it's like the script isn't finished and none of the like they don't know what they're going to be looking at, and you just have to like light everything really blandly and like and
Perform in the void.
Yeah. Everyone has to perform in the void because any single variable could be changed multiple times at any moment in the pipeline.
Yeah.
Instead of the hard commit of like old school movie making where it's like we have enough money for 1 gallon of blood.
No, I hear you. I hear you. There's a lot of
this is it, and that's it.
Just
you
enter
know?
the void room and you're like T-Pose going, oh.
Yes, and like, cut. That's good. We got it. We got the scene.
All right, we'll send it out to the committees now.
And that's Act 3 in the can.
But yeah, it's like it's still such a young technology, as evidenced by like so many people not even knowing what this stuff was. It's been around for 2.5 years, and yet there's still so many people who this is the first time even hearing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think I was mentioning this in the pre-show, but I was surprised at the number of people complaining that I was using the term hologram. Like holograms aren't holograms if you're viewing them on a screen. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, it's a holographic projection into 2D space, I guess. But like, let's say you get a hologram projector someday, something that's able to magically display holograms. What type of content will they use?
What is the Latin meaning of hologram? What is the actual like? If you broke those words, defined the individual
look it up.
pieces of that word.
No idea.
But yes.
Because that might be an easy gotcha. If you're just
If
like,
you
oh, it
had
just
to
means like
play-
fake image, you know?
Oh, sure,
like,
yeah.
It's like, well, it's a fake image.
If you had to play a video file on your hologram machine, it would be a
Hollows.
Gaussian
Okay, it
Splat.
means a whole or entire, and then message or writing.
Oh, that makes sense.
Handwritten document, holograph,
Huh.
hologram,
It's
holographus.
the holistic representation of the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And so my point was that like they're saying, oh, it's not a hologram because it's not a holographic display, and I'm like, yeah, but holographic displays still have to display content. Is a video not a video if you're not viewing it on a screen? You're just looking at the file on your
If
computer.
a video plays in the woods and no one's around to watch it,
like-
does the like
Is it
button
a
still get
video?
smashed?
But you know what I mean, right? It's like you have a video file. It's a video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just not a video because you're not watching it on a screen at that moment.
Yeah, the Star Wars hologram display is playing a hologram file.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is what a Gaussian Splat is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright.
So I'm excited for where this is going. Because like it'd be cool to shoot a short film entirely on a holographic stage like that, and then you can put any background you want, assuming you can unify the lighting and relight it as necessary. Pick any camera angle you want,
We should
and
do
you
a,
just have to do the performance once. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's really cool.
we should do a short film about what holographic Tupac is up to these days.
Look at that's Jan. He worked at the company for years.
I
That was
there.
so long ago. Well, you know what's he been up to?
That was-
He's got that's new Tupac.
That was 2011. I think
That's
I,
resurrected Tupac.
Yeah.
He's just kind of chilling on a server
I
now.
was there.
Hall.
All right,
fellas.
I think we gotta wrap this
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we
This is
gotta
a
go
long
do some
podcast.
We have
debunks.
an NVIDIA call, and then we got a debunk.
Oh, what time's the NVIDIA
video
call?
call?
2, just real quick.
Okay, we got
one.
some time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Han Holo.
But then we gotta get
Holo.
debunks, which Dean is waiting for.
Yeah. This is a fun podcast.
Heck
Yeah.
Enjoy
Good
a lot
stuff.
to catch up on.
Yeah, good seeing everybody.
New puck.
Thanks for joining us.
Jokes. Thanks for watching, everyone. In 3, 2, 1.